It's time for trigger warning.
Trigger warning! Fuck your feelings, you little snowflake! Triggerwarning.tv.
How dare you!
Hello, you all right? Where's Aiden? What was that? I was expecting to do my smug little chill whilst you did your introduction then, and I was just full screen. People.
Hi everybody, welcome to Trigger Warning. We're back again. We were on last night with Drone Tech and SJG, and I think we might have a guest for tomorrow night. I'm not too sure yet. I'm going to find out. But tonight, if you would like to join in later, you're more than welcome to get in touch with us at Trigger TV on Twitter, and we'll send you a link and you can come in. Let's just change that ticker over. There we go. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yes, not bad. I had a weird sort of fever that before. I keep thinking it's weird, isn't it? Because you're like, am I feeling ill because I've just been in for days and you know I need to eat more fruit and get exercise and stuff, or am I actually coming down with the COVID? I don't know, but I'm all right. I'm busy convincing the mother of Zelda's best mate to get the same, to get Animal Crossing, so they can meet up. Because this parenting nonsense is I'm done with it, mate. I'm done.
It's going on a bit this now, isn't it?
Play your games. Play your games. Bloody hell.
Let's say hello to a few people. We've got Last Dance. How you doing, mate? Nat Lynch, good to see you. Nick Marden, Smoke Steve. There we go. Sutty's Rehab, Manzi Monster, Fat Belly. Stephen England is in. Hello, Stephen. Cup of Tea, Kenny Ballbag.
You know what? It's good to see so many familiar names, man. This shit's been, I wouldn't normally dream of streaming this often, but honestly, this is the part of the day that's keeping me going right now. It's keeping me sane. I'm
never going to get tired of saying Kenny Ballbag, though. Shatner's Bassoon, Happy Dog, Fano Boss. Not seen you for a while.
I hope Mrs. Ballbag as well.
Yeah. And Fat Belly, of course, and Dippy Derrick. Oh, so it's been an interesting couple of days.
Yes. So interesting. I've even wore my standard headphones. That's how serious it is.
Serious headphones. It's been an interesting couple of days. To give you guys some background, just a couple of days ago, it came out about the decision of the government about and the NHS how to handle if we're overwhelmed with the coronavirus. The idea being, obviously, much like Italy, that older people who have the virus will not get ventilation, they'll not get the treatment, they'll be given an end-of-life pack and allowed to die. And I think all of us accept that, if it becomes overwhelmed, that's how it's going to be. Those most likely to survive will get the treatment. We understand that. And we're led to believe at the moment that 1 in 3 hospital beds in total is taken up with coronavirus patients at the minute. I've not done the math. That doesn't seem quite right according to government figures. But even if we go with that, 2/3 of beds are still not taken. And also, coronavirus patients does not mean everyone's there because of the coronavirus. It could be anything that they've got. This is about 2 days ago. Today, the UK healthcare regulator says resuscitation strategy is actually unacceptable. Care residents, elderly people in care, have been categorised en masse as not requiring resuscitation. A lot of people are on DNRs anyway. For example, my mother-in-law is on a DNR from when she had quite mild pneumonia in 2018. They explained to my wife that if she did go into arrest and they had to resuscitate her, it would probably do enormous damage to her and she'd probably pass away anyway. So a DNR was put in place for that eventuality. It was not required. In the end, all that was required for this mild pneumonia were some fluids, some antibiotics, and about, I think it was 8 hours in hospital. Now, a surgery from a place near Port Talbot sent letters out to patients with serious illnesses to complete DNAR forms. Serious illnesses. In this form, they said, it's to do with COVID-19, who will get ventilation, who won't, the fact that you won't if you're older. And it appeared as if the planning, as if all residents over the age of 75 would remain in their homes if they contacted COVID-19 rather than being admitted to hospital. Remember, this is if we're overwhelmed with COVID-19. This is the plan. So to jump back again a little, 2 days ago, my wife received a phone call that her mother was unwell. Got in touch with the care home, said she's running a fever. Her chest's quite bad, not coughing. She's very non-compliant, won't take medication. So I said, that sounds like the pneumonia that she had. It was the same symptoms. And they said, yeah, possibly. I said, is there anyone else poorly there? Is it COVID-19? He said, no one else is poorly at the moment. I said, okay, what's happening? They said, well, we've called 111, which is digital health. And they said, well, we're not sending out an ambulance. We're not doing it. Bit strange, for an old lady that might have mild pneumonia, no other symptoms of COVID. Talk to the GP. Now, the people at the care home, I have to say, are fantastic. So let's not put anything on them. They're confused by this as well. So they got into the GP. The GP said, I'm not coming out. We're not coming out. We don't even see patients now. They work from home. He prescribed paracetamol, an over-the-counter headache tablet. And if that didn't work, an end-of-life package. Okay, those are the choices. Those are the choices. Over-the-counter headache tablets, an end-of-life package. The care home were naturally concerned, but there was nothing they could do. I got to FaceTime with her that night. She didn't really know what was going on, but I could have been in that room in 2018. Identical symptoms. She was begging for help. She wasn't coughing repeatedly or anything like that. She was running a temperature. Yesterday, they kept her stabilized. It was still going through the motions. I can't go and visit because they've been on lockdown for about a month now. You're only allowed to visit if they go on end of life. Today, they got through to 111 again, who said they would contact the GP to see if there was anything they could offer in the middle, between headache or death.
But nice.
Because, in these end-of-life packages, by the way, you get morphine, a sedative, anti-sickness tablet, and something to dry your pipes out. It's aimed at COVID. This is for COVID. This is for when we're overwhelmed. But she's not got COVID-19 and we're not overwhelmed yet. Why are we killing old people?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
People are very busy preparing. Manchester certainly isn't overwhelmed yet.
No. So why be doing this? So today I spoke to a couple of journalists that I know, and I was speaking to one from The Guardian who said, look, we've been hearing things, but a lot of people think it's a conspiracy theory at the moment. And then I was put through to this other guy who I spoke to, good guy. He's going to get in touch with the doctors, so I've got The Guardian there. And then I thought, well, I'll tweet the mayor of Manchester. And I don't know how effective he'll be. I've never been behind the door at criticising him and probably won't in the future. But to his credit, he responded to me very quickly, personally, in DM. So he's got the details now. So now it's with The Guardian, who are trying to blow this story up. They've been trying for a couple of days to blow this up. And now the mayor of Manchester's on it. I can't get hold of my MP. Maybe she'll reply tomorrow. She's very busy trying to become the deputy leader of the Labour Party anyway. But if it's happening to my mother-in-law, who else is it happening to? We're hearing rumours and stories that it's happening. We've got fucking death panels, guys, already.
Yeah.
We've always known there's certain drugs they say they can't afford. But now GPs are taking it upon themselves to say, might be end-of-life package time without seeing the patient. They've not seen her.
without the basic decency of being in the same room as them when they make that decision,
Yeah.
or even saying it to the family's face.
Hmm.
You know, just sending it through. But my worry here is like, you know, is how much of what the GP is doing is what they've been told to do, and my other much more grave worry is why are 111 advising this? Is this official policy? Because it's certainly not been. We've certainly not been told it's official policy. As you said, we've been told that this is understandably something that will happen in the future. And it is understandable. If the hospitals are rammed and they're piling the bodies up, then yeah, obviously they're not going to get to people like your mother-in-law. But
the thing is,
now, go on.
There's no indication it is COVID-19. There's no other infection in that home.
Oh, well, I suspect there'd be people down there if it was.
But no one's coming out. If she'd fallen over, broke a hip, she might have got something if she lived at home. But it seems to me they're abandoning them. And this is heartbreaking for the care workers. Because those people genuinely, you know, they're every bit the frontline staff that nurses and doctors are. They care about these people. They show them great love and affection when they look after them.
And they're working under very strict quarantine. You know, like my girl's had a bit of a snotty nose for months now, and we've not been. You know, she's got the same thing now. If I worked in a care home, we would have been strict day one, gone. So they're working on minimum staff right now. Minimum.
Oh yeah, they are understaffed.
Because they can't have someone in there with a cough, and then the second someone dies, it's like, what did you do to my mum? You know, it's horrible. But here's the thing, Aidan. We've been talking about this a lot over the last couple of days, like constant phone calls. My wonderful advice, which basically amounts to burn it all down. Get her, Aidan. Go and get her now. I can't, Graham. The door's locked. The police will get me before I even get in there. I'll do it then. Where are they? But the thing is, you're not going to let this go. And you've been onto the mayor. You've been onto, you personally are going to make sure that she gets through it. And that's understandable. You've got a personal connection to it. But the worry right now, definitely in terms of us, is like, as you said earlier, how many other people is this happening with right now?
How many people? It sucks. I know that her daughters were just stunned.
Yeah.
And you hear that and you accept it. Oh, fuck. Well, okay. Right. There's nothing they can. You're stunned. You're out of it. I'm nobody important. You know, I'm just some dickhead that started a fucking website. Okay, that's it. I don't consider myself fucking special or anything, but I'm fortunate that I know some people in the media. I'm fortunate that I can get some phone numbers that I can reach out to some people. Mate, so it's got to be done.
Hospitals are on serious, intense lockdown right now. I understand and respect if the decision has already been made that somebody that doesn't have COVID has another kind of pneumonia. I understand completely the decision to not have them in hospital. I get that. I really, really do. Like if they've decided that, right, because they don't necessarily want a brand new infection on top of what they've already got, but what goes along with that is the frigging GP then turning up and doing what they can and explaining that, and even if the GP is busy, it's like 2 days later. Where is them? Where are they?
GP isn't that fucking busy. They're not seeing anybody.
No, they're working.
They're not seeing anyone. Home. Now, I've all the respect in the world. We see the photos of the nurses and the doctors with the faces looking like they've had a beating after all day in the PPE and they're on the front line. But a GP gets, 60, 70 grand a year to sit in a chair, and predominantly for all the study and all the wonderfulness, they fucking Google things and refer you to a specialist. That's fine. If that's the job, that's fine. But for fuck's sake, you gave an oath. You took the Hippocratic oath. I don't want to catch COVID. I don't give a fuck what you want. This is where you earn your wages, dickhead. Go out and see people.
Yeah, this is literally
you have a responsibility. You have a fucking. It's not just the emergency room doctors. Or the other guys they're doing that. It's GPs as well. You have a responsibility. Don't just fucking hide away, you prick. I'm taking food to my parents. If one of my neighbours was ill, I'd be taking food to them. We've all got to do something. Not just fucking hide away and go, oh, yeah, well, I'll give that one morphine. Fuck off, you prick.
I do not understand how any human being can say the words end of life package or end of life medication without having physically seen someone. That's this is the part that's been I was raging. Like there's an American friend of mine that I talk to quite a lot, and she's sort of, big Bernie fan, sort of idolizes socialized healthcare and stuff. And I keep cool about it. I do keep quiet about it with her because it's just nice to have that other perspective, and an American that really, really believes in it. And I try and let her know, well, there's failures in other ways. Oh no, I was when you sent that first text, I was straight on my phone texting like, don't you fucking fall for fucking socialized fucking healthcare. It's bullshit. I took it all out on her. I was like, don't do it, man. I'd rather be in debt than dead. That's a fucking thing.
Happy Dog said, unless she's sectioned, she's free to leave. First of all, I believe my wife's older sister has power of attorney over her. Secondly, she does have dementia, so she can't leave. Thirdly, the home are brilliant. It's not them. The care home are amazing. They have been wonderful for her, genuinely. It's not the care home that's failing her in any way, shape, or form. They're the ones FaceTime me. They're ones saying, we don't understand.
Well, you're not even the person responsible, so they didn't have to even phone you. This was an act of decency on their part. And I know a few people that do this kind of work, and fucking amazing, absolutely amazing. And it is, it's grossly underpaid, but unfortunately, it's the sort of job that. The attitude of the people that do this kind of job isn't that they're not the kind of people who will threaten to leave if they don't get more money or things like this. They take it as a very personal thing, and so there's not that sort of negotiation or sort of hard nosedness. No, they actually love Sheila and Edna and all the rest of them, and they want to make sure they do right by them. Massively so. But this needs to be sorted out, man. This is going to blow up in the next few days, I think.
I don't know what I can do, but I'm going to do everything I can do. Whatever it is I can do, I'm going to do. I mean, I've gotten hold of thanks to someone I've never met, but he's clearly a good friend. I have some phone numbers of some senior MPs.
Yes.
And if I don't get anywhere with what I've got, I'll just start harassing them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop. I'll reach out to everyone I can and do okay. Now, what's interesting is this went out on Twitter and Richie Allen retweeted it. Thank you, Richie. And I'm going on his show tomorrow night to talk about it. I think I'm on the second hour. And I was told, where's your proof? I said, well, it's happening now. Oh,
me.
So, yeah. So one case... That's what I got as well. Where's your proof? One case, and you're saying all this, you're fear-mongering. Hang on, no. Yeah, of course, one case. So I've never looked into things. I wouldn't go and check before saying it. I'm just blurting shit out. I got accused of having a tabloid mentality. I looked at some of these people saying this to me, Graham. They think 5G gives you the fucking flu. These are the people that think I should take seriously their insight into my fucking character. I'm creating panic when they're telling people a telephone mast is giving you a virus. And at the same time, you can't catch a virus. Fuck these people.
Yeah.
Fuck them in the ear.
I've just had a private message. I had a phone appointment today, 2 lumps on my arms, called at 8:45 a.m., got an appointment for 9:50. So actually, it would seem, going off that circumstantial evidence, that the doctors are quite empty right now. Understandably, my daughter's got a cough. Usually I would have taken her, but I'm not taking her now. No fucking way. They wouldn't have her.
I can't take my mother-in-law to the doctors.
No.
She's 83. She's got fucking pneumonia,
Yeah.
and dementia. And there's a really deadly fucking virus floating around. Why doesn't the fucking GP get off his fat, lazy fucking ass, put a mask on and get around there?
Yeah.
Now, incidentally, she has the same GP that I do. So, we'll see how that pans out as well.
This is a clusterfuck, man. I'm telling you, this is going to be big news now. This is going to be big news. Because, it like you said, when you tweeted, there was that weird QAnon guy that blocked us both, didn't they? And it's like, but you can see the government putting it out there as a future thing. And all we're saying is that it's being implemented early Far too early. Phenomenally
Just like the
early.
police. It's like what the police are doing.
Yes.
The government put out guidelines. The police are telling people the laws. They're not laws. Not at this point. They're guidelines. There's no statute in law that outlines these things. They're guidelines. The police are saying you've broken the law. They're issuing fixed penalty fines. One woman just got done for 650 quid. Possibly mentally ill.
Yeah.
A tramp got fined £500. A fucking tramp. Homeless guy. What's he gonna fucking do?
Well, that's odd considering homelessness is specifically written into the new legislation. Specifically.
Doesn't matter.
As exempt.
He's probably got an address at a hostel.
Yes, actually, yeah, he will have.
And there we go. There we go. Clearly, but we can pay it off at £5 a week. And one of the magistrate type people said to him, I hope that hurts you. Straight up quote.
Jesus Christ.
The police can't deal with crimes if you're burgled, but they can fly a fucking drone to the top of the hill to catch some prick walking his fucking dog.
I know. Mate, it's
gone mental. Everything's gone mental.
They've still not been for my neighbours being burgled. It's been fucking 2 years now. Nobody showed up. My other neighbour being actually stalked. That was a fight just to get that one sorted. They're not.
Well, what is it now? If you get burgled, there's a value threshold. They've only robbed £100 worth of stuff out your van. No, we're not coming out for that.
No, they don't. They don't. And that's.
And yeah, they put a thing out. We'll still pay attention to people that hurt your feelings on fucking Twitter.
Oh yeah, full fucking adverts, mate. I mean, that was the thing that the Sainsbury's down there when there was 2 uniformed officers giving out hate crime badges. Report it. It will not be tolerated. And I'm like,
oh, report it. I thought you meant for doing them because
no.
I could
like leaflets, like pens, all that shit. The proper little happy pack thing. And it's like you've spent all this money on all this. You've taken 2 trained officers and pissed their entire day away advertising hate crimes to fucking students. The same people have been brought up so poorly at this point that somebody touching your arm is a reason to take them to court. And they're just shivering with fucking fear based on inappropriate flirting, awkward flirting. And
they're the people as well. The irony is that won't stay in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they're a generation that's never been told no.
No, of course not. And they've never felt any real hardship. They're fucking feeling it now, though. Do you remember all those spring breakers? A couple of weeks ago, they were all there, like literally doing shots, like it was almost like the human centipede.
Yeah,
they're all lined up on the beach, and someone's pouring shots down. They're all just licking each other's asses in a conga line, right? They're all testing positive now.
Good.
I think there was one I saw. 28 of 70 have tested positive.
Well, was that fucking bellend that licked a toilet seat, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Now he's in fucking hospital. Hope he coughs his arse out.
But
I literally hope his arse falls out.
All those pricks that are now testing positive, it's 2 weeks later, now they're showing signs. How many people have they infected? The people that their
100.
actions will have killed, they might not kill them for another week or 2. Do you know what I mean? That's but the problem is the news cycle's so busy right now that we've all forgot about the spring breakers. So much shit's happened since then. There's
the man walking a dog on a hill somewhere.
Yeah, there's a man walking a fucking dog on the fucking hill, or some prick stood in a completely empty car park riding his toy car. They stand there with a megaphone going, "Oi!" It's like, are you fucking insane? I can't even.
Fucking mad.
No.
Everything's gone insane, and there's just no end to this. And all this shit laws are going to be ushering in off the back of this. I mean, there's something the conspiracy guys have got nailed. The power grabs, obviously. The move towards a cashless society, which should fucking terrify you. Yeah, I mean, I use my contactless all the time. It's handy.
I love it.
The way banks are freezing accounts these days is fucking terrifying. Monzo froze thousands, and when people rang up to complain, they gave them directions to the food bank. They don't give you access to your own money when they freeze an account, and the best part is they don't even have to tell you why.
I know. It's amazing, isn't it? They can bring up all this new hate crime legislation, and yet for some reason they can't bring up anything that forces an online bank to let you access your own money. Just because some cunt at BuzzFeed, because this is how they do it. This is the game with them. If they don't like you, someone at HuffPost or BuzzFeed, they will email the bank and they'll say, yes, we're just doing a story, and we wonder why you're supporting Nazis. And then they'll give the names of the people, and then suddenly, as if by magic, because it's been framed that way, that person's bank account gets closed or frozen because they shit themselves at the publicity, and it's insane to me because they weren't supporting Nazis. There's no evidence that anyone is a fucking Nazi or a hate crime perpetrator or a transphobe, but that's how they frame it to destroy people, and it's insane to me that we haven't come up with anything to protect that. Absolute madness.
It's absolutely bizarre.
But the same cunts that are clapping for all these authoritarian crimes coming in, they clap for that as well. Oh,
the guy on the car park said the other day in the comments for that, someone said he should get 12 months. He didn't go to a party and lick beer off someone's arsehole. He went to an empty car park and played with a remote control car for 20 minutes. That was all. People are going for a short drive to get somewhere nice to have a walk. No, the police are saying you're not allowed to do that. There's no law to say you can't do that. And then one of the chief inspectors has got the fucking nerve to post, I think it was today on social media, now's not the time to be criticizing just a small handful of officers who've made mistakes.
No, it is.
I think now is exactly the time to be criticizing those in charge of us.
As our rights and liberties are stripped away at a phenomenal rate, it is the exact time to keep on at these people. That's why I like Peter Hitchens so much. I don't always have time for him, but you know what? He's pissing off all the right people right now, and he's getting it wrong. And I'm not saying everything he says is getting wrong, but he's fucking fighting the good fight right now. He's constantly saying liberty, liberty, liberty. Don't give up your freedom so fucking quickly. And I appreciate that. There's not enough people in this country that have his attitude, man. Not even close. And then you see now governments, the UK, USA, I know a lot of the EU are jumping on it as well. There's the likes of Palantir, Microsoft, Google, all the big players are now developing apps and algorithms that are going to be able to track the virus and track the antibody tests once they come in to aid us getting back to normal life. But the other side to that is you are then, in order to go outside, you're going to be.
You got your yellow badge. You got your yellow Juden badge.
You have, yeah.
It's fucking. This whole thing's fucking creepy. I mean, I was talking to Richie
all
about
your
this.
Data's gone though, Don. Everything, your entire privacy. Just give that up, and you can go back outside. And it's like, whoa.
Richie's take on this.
Well,
I was telling him, we're talking about lockdowns. I said, no, I think what would have probably been, and I'm not a scientist, but you know what? Our figures are mirroring everybody else's, apart from the rare exceptions that everyone argues with, either Italy all the way up there or fucking Taiwan all the way down there. Most of our countries are tracking roughly the same, regardless of what we do. One Swedish epidemiologist, I think that's right, came out and said, doesn't matter what you do, it's going to end up the same. You're all going to end up with the same amount of deaths.
Yeah.
Now, I think what would have been more sensible would be the vulnerable. Keep them at home. Look after them. Everybody else, reasonable social distancing. Businesses, let them operate, but at 50% capacity. Keep that going for a month. A month and a half would have had a very reasonable effect. Enshrine some of that in law as a temporary law for 3 months. Fine. People would know what they're up against. But now we're being told, right, you're all in for 2 weeks, but it's going to be 3 weeks, but it might be a month. This can't continue till November. The country will be fucking bankrupt.
Well, yeah, and we're already seeing it. Italy, China, the riots are brewing now, and they're labeling. The problem is with Italy is that people are so desperate for food at this point that they're arranging on Facebook. There's Facebook groups to arrange mobs to go to supermarkets and just steal food. But and you know what, mate? We could be a month or two down the road from the exact same thing. If it keeps going, and if they're limiting our freedoms, which they are doing far too much, it's you squeeze and then there has to be a release. Do you know what I mean? And it is worrying. It is worrying to see what's coming.
Just to answer Last Dance there's his comment. I don't understand the COVID-19 plan. We freeze the country until new cases start to dwindle, and then what? We lift the restrictions, then what happens? New cases once again explode. The idea, this has been so poorly communicated by our governments. The idea is not to keep everyone until it goes away. It's a virus out in the wild. It's never going away. Never. It's going to be with mankind forever. All viruses are. You don't see all of them because we vaccinate, we develop immunity to them, but they're always out there. The whole idea of this is to just slow down the infection a bit. It's not going to change the number of infections one iota, but it will slow it down so that our services can cope. And that's all this is. Nothing more.
We've not been overwhelmed, but my Sophie's in a fucking state coming home every night because, you know, normally she does 4 or 5 pumps a day. She did 200 in 2 weeks. You know, she's fucked, and that's not because. And they're all stacked there. They're not going straight up. It's just the prep because they can see on the model and they can see from every other country. This is it that, you know. Hospitals are, you know, once hospitals got overwhelmed, that's when the death rate goes up to 1 in 10, 1 in 20, depending who you are and all that.
Say Farley Hill says the French are better than us, not according to the stats.
The French are fucked. It's weird. Nobody's been talking about the French, but shit's falling apart there, like badly. It's funny as well, isn't it? Because it's everyone's sort of biases are reaffirmed by it. You know, they go, oh, Germany's doing well. Well, it's like, yeah, but Germany's doing like far more testing than anyone else. So,
and also not reporting the deaths as COVID deaths.
No. But then they're like, see, socializing. It's like, yeah, but Germany has private healthcare. What the fuck are you talking about? And then some people were like, well, capitalism's saving us, socialism's saving us. Oh, well, we need this, we need that. And it's like, because it's happening all over the world, people seem to be focusing in on the one place that supports their worldview. You know, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, you look at that graph. You look at all the graph. You ignore the big clump of them in the middle because they're all roughly the same. The UK's by far and away not doing the worst in that. Everyone tells me 2 weeks we will. You told me that 2 weeks ago. We're doing how we're doing. You know, so we ignore those ones in the middle, and what you do, you pick either the ones up there, like I said before, Italy, Spain, United States now, or you pick the ones down there to prove your point, and you just focus on them, and that's it. We should have done what Taiwan did. Yeah, but no one else did what Taiwan did. No one. You know, well, the EU's doing it, right? Really? Hungary's just giving someone a fucking dictatorship.
The EU Parliament is empty right now. There was one, I saw one Irish guy in a fucking t-shirt just ranting, just going off his head on his own, completely on his own. And then there was that thing, what was it, 3 days ago, where the EU decided that we need to come up with a plan within the next 15 days. And it's like, mate, the way this spreads, 15 days equals 100,000, 200,000 across all of Europe. 15 days could be 1 or 2 million deaths. What the fuck are you talking about? We need to come up with a plan. It's like that. It's like their life of Brian, isn't it? You know, the People's Front of Judea. Just fucking arguing and debating constantly. You can piss off.
Just Farley Hill again, the rate of new infections is decreasing. How are you measuring that?
Well,
because we don't know how many people are infected in our country.
No, we don't. That's the thing. The rate, but in terms of our testing, but there's a weird thing with us where it seems to be every 3 days it goes down and then it goes up loads. So I don't know if that's
because it's all over the fucking place.
That might be like
it's accurate,
but it might be cycles of testing, cycles of
also like we only test when people are hospitalized.
Yes,
unless you're rich and famous, in which case not a problem. Then you'll only have mild symptoms. Celebrities only get mild symptoms so they can make fucking videos for us on YouTube telling us to chill out and we'll be okay while they're sat in a £14 million mansion. Hot take. Not good.
There's an interesting thing going on at the moment, and this has really frustrated me with the media, the sort of propaganda at the moment with the masks. And apparently the CDC is reviewing its advice on masks, and all of the narrative around it since from the very beginning was like sort of this sort of like looking down your nose at people scoffing. You know, if you've got a dust mask on, saying, "Well, that won't protect you," and it was almost like the smug journalists, you know, the Twitterati journals and all that, just like looking at the science and going, well, it has to be an N95 mask. And now they're finally stopping and saying and talking about it in a non-psychotic way, where it's like, yeah, but part of the reason to wear a mask is not to protect you; it's to protect other people.
Exactly, because what stops a sneeze or a cough or anything else better?
Yeah, but then these actually bastards are like, well, it'll come out the sides and stuff, and it's like, yeah, but having a hanky permanently strapped to your face is going to do more than not having a hanky or your fucking elbow. If you've got a mask and you use the elbow, more's the better. I've had a mask every time I go out because I might have it and I don't want to infect someone else. And it's so weird that it's taken the media in general this long to sort of start saying, oh, in Asia they don't wear masks, because this has been the thing, this sort of half racist kind of like, those idiots, they don't realize it doesn't stop. And it's like, no, it's a courtesy thing there. In Asia, you wear a mask if you've got a cold. You do it for other people. That's always been the whole point. Which, by the way, if anyone's interested, go on Amazon and look up bike masks like what I wear. You don't have to get the full headgear, but there's bike masks with removable, replaceable filters inside. Really fucking good ones for just like a tenner at the moment. And you get fresh filters to put in with it.
I don't need that shit. I've been wearing my son's Darth Vader voice changer mask.
I'm just saying, if anyone's interested and you do want to wear something and you've got absolutely nothing, have a look right now, because for some reason no one's buying, snowboarding gear and all that.
So just so you know, if you do wear a Darth Vader voice changer mask, a bin bag, and pink washing up gloves, you get right to the front of the queue wherever you go.
I know.
You go to know that. You have no problems. Everyone leaves you the fuck. Social distancing, not a problem. Not a problem at all.
I got wait. Open image in new tab. Open image. Go on. Open image. You bastards. I don't want to do that because it'll dox my personal information. Oh, there we go. I can do it. I can do it like that, can't I? Yeah. Oh, can I? I'm trying to share my screen with you. Oh, it doesn't matter. You know what my mask looks like, but no one else does.
Yes.
Balls to it. Right. There's a weird one today. Obviously, it's April 1st. And it's been really frustrating me because it's like, would they do this as a joke? But have you seen the British American Tobacco have announced that they're working on a cure? But the thing is, their expertise is on fast plant growth, is on chemical analysis. They're actually perfectly placed to do it, and they've got history with this. They worked on Ebola stuff.
But not only that, can't smoke if your lungs are fucked.
No.
They need people to have good, clear airways so they can have that tasty cigarette smoke. It's very important.
I know, but it's such a crazy thing. But they actually own like biomedical companies and stuff, which is a thing. But which is an interesting one, isn't it? Because they're giving you the tobacco to fuck your lungs up, but then they're also giving you the cure at the other end of it because they own both companies. But
it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. You got to keep people smoking. They can't do that if they've got the pneumonias.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no expert on these things, but I'm going to imagine that if you've got the pneumonia, the last thing you really fancy is a nice, tasty Marlboro Red. Just my take on it. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe if you've got pneumonia, that's what you crave. But
I'm off it now. I was hoping Israel would come up with a cure or the vaccine or whatever, just to see all the people that hate Jews to just
the BDS guys,
the BDS people just twisting and confused and like, I'll let me grandma have it, but I'm off it now. Now I want a company that goes by the name Bat, that makes fucking cigarettes that kills people via the lungs.
If only there was an Israeli tobacco company doing this.
I know.
That would be heaven. That would be fucking heaven.
Let's hope they've got links there. I'm sure I'm sure someone that works at Labour will let us know soon. They're probably fast Googling it right now as soon as the story came out. Links with Israel.
Just say Happy Dog. Happy Dog there says everybody needs to sign the petition to reopen vape shops. True, it's probably as essential as anything else. Keep people off the cigs, but a lot of vape shops are delivering now. I know Puff Mart that I use, they deliver. I got French dude. I do enjoy sucking on some French dude.
I've got no stuff left. I've got it.
In this one, I've got some mango, a mouth to lung device, mostly for when I'm doing these things. By the way, because we've done all this serious, heavy shit, and I couldn't vent properly because we're not in the studio.
No.
If you would like to join in for a few minutes, come on, have a chat. I mean, we're already at 50, but we're not in a rush. So if you do, drop us a direct message at Triggered TV on Twitter. The DMs are open. Just drop one in there. We'll send you an invite code, and you can jump on in here with us for a few minutes until we're bored of you.
Yeah.
And then we'll cut you off. So please do, because this Saturday, are we doing another one this Saturday, by the way?
Another drunken stream?
Yeah.
I think I might have to, you know. Our sofa's not working Sunday this week, so we're good to go.
I mean, I'm going to monitor the personal situation, obviously. But if all goes well, definitely we'll do another drunk stream on Saturday where we all just we wait until Graham has a little sick and passes out like a fucking lightweight.
Fuck you. You know what though? All that homebrew I made for Meat Space is just going to do me right. I'm good. I can drink heavily until Christmas.
Hey, Anya, how you doing? Sorry, I just had to say hello to Anya there.
I might have someone to jump in, actually. I'm just confirming because I just got a hello. So I'm like, yeah, but is the hello because you want to come in or not?
I've got one here as well. We've got room for plenty. So if you'd like to join, it's at Triggered TV on Twitter. Just drop us a DM and we'll get you in, or DM Graham, DM me. Smoke Steve says, yeah, I'm in for a drunk stream. We need you there, Smoke Steve.
Yes.
Make no mistake, we want you there wandering about your house randomly. That'd be super duper.
Yeah, I know. I really enjoyed it on Saturday. It was good to let loose. And here's the thing: if everyone knows it's coming, they can be drinking with us, can't we? We can all get absolutely hammered again.
Just to
Saturday.
say, Aphid Lip there says, I didn't know it was a drunk stream. I was too serious. Dude, we didn't know it was going to be until we got shit-faced.
No, I mean, I know Aidan had been a bit stressed. He's like, I'm having a drink, Graham. I'm having a drink. And I'm terrible with peer pressure. I'm
peer pressure. The merest suggestion. If I'm at the shops and I say,
exactly,
I'm getting a cheesecake, mate.
No, do you remember that?
Yeah, that was Christmas, wasn't it?
He phoned me to say he's getting a cheesecake. An hour later, I was in there buying 3 cheesecakes for Christmas.
On Christmas Eve.
I guess he was in front of me in the queue, Richie fucking Allen. to complete the humiliation, I was like, I only did this because Hayden was teasing me because I don't have cheesecakes. Do you know what, though? Good lad. He offered me a lift home, bless him.
Oh, Fat Belly, maybe we will bring the quiz back. Who knows? Because we're going to be streaming a lot till the end of this nonsense. Hey, we got Nick with us. How you doing, Nick?
Good evening, gents. How you doing?
Oh, top of the world. Yourself,
good,
mate?
I'm not so bad. Hung up the cardigan, so I'm back on my own time now.
I won't let you on in the cardigan, mate.
Oh, I didn't expect you to.
No. That's just not allowed. So how are you coping with isolation? Are you dealing with it well?
I'm all right, yeah. I've got a list of things to be getting on with, so I've just been getting through it. Although today, they're resurfacing the road right outside my house, and I felt like myself going all the way back to being like 9 years old again. I've been staring out the window watching it. Like, oh, they're digging up the street. But what a better time for them to dig up the street right outside your house when you can't go out. I mean, normally I'd be complaining about it and going, why is no access to my property and all this? But
we had a depressing visitor today because the boiler's packed up. So the heating engineer came out. We've had him here a few times. Usually he's a really chirpy guy, but he was really down. He said it might take me a day or two to get the part. I said, it's all right. We got little heaters. It's fine. And I said, what's up, mate? He said, no work. I've got nothing on the horizon. The debts have all come in. I'm fucked, mate. And I'm like,
we're on the cusp of the greatest mental health crisis I think the planet's ever seen.
Yeah, well, I was outside the shop because you can only go in 2 at a time or 4 at a time, and strangers are talking again because that's what we do in times of hardship. And one guy said, I said, are you all right? You're well, and I don't know who he was, but he said, I got laid off last week. So he said, yeah, but they're telling people that, they're going to furlough them. I said, well, you can get back on. A lot of companies will let you get back on. He said, yeah. Except my company, when they heard about all this, basically made his probation period longer and then told me he was no good after he finished his shifts.
Oh, that is just not.
And he's like, I've got to fight him now. And I'm like, what a terrible time to be going through that shit.
Yeah.
What? You know,
That's a dirty trick.
it's happening a lot. It's happening a lot. People are getting shafted left, right, and centre.
Well, and this is the thing. Anyone that speaks up for the economic side of things right now, there's a mob coming for you, you know. But there is, and admittedly, some people are putting it very, very badly. That sounds very cold, but there is an economic argument. There is a there is a big, because people just fucking kill themselves, man. You know, or just. If the economy is fucked that much, then the lights go off. There's no food on the shelves. And if people aren't paying the rent, we get riots, we get crime, we get all sorts of stuff. So that there does have to be a balance. And I don't know the fucking answer to it. I don't know.
I've been talking about this a lot, actually, and well, to a large extent, what a lot of people don't realize is that the health of the economy of a nation is completely linked.
I'm really sorry. I've just seen this comment. Check that one out. It's from John. Had a stroke, small one. Refused to see me, doctors or hospital. I'm only 40.
Wow.
Yeah, oh, fucking hell, man.
Fuck.
Like,
John,
why?
That's really bad. That's horrendous.
Because there's no such thing as just a small stroke.
No. And this isn't official policy yet. So why are they doing it? We're not there yet.
You refuse to see me.
Right, be all right, mate.
Is it? Well, I mean, I don't know. Is it a refusal for them to see me, or is it an actual absence of capability? Because I've seen some figures that say that everything's up to capacity with everyone that's got anything. So I don't want to.
A lot of people are being moved over.
Horrendous.
They are. You know, a lot of people are being moved over onto either prep or care. But I mean, surely, like, John, have you not seen your GP or something? You know, GPs should be seeing people still.
Yeah. Everything else that can go wrong hasn't gone away.
But this is the issue that we said right at the very start, wasn't it? It's like when people go, "Oh, it's just the flu," and it's like, yeah, but there's everything else is still happening. You know, like the flu kills X thousand people a year, and it's like, yeah, but they're not going to get any fucking care. I
think it's a safe assumption that they wouldn't have gone this far with all the measures they have taken for nothing.
No, of course not. Of course not.
So, that being the case, but other things going on, we've got to still look after people. I mean, it's no good people dying of other things while trying to protect them of something else. How ironic's that?
It just doesn't make sense at all.
Doesn't at all.
Because we're still seeing lots of videos and photos of hospitals not being at capacity yet. So no, I'm really very confused about why this would be. But
unless sort of more staff are off than we realised, you know. So
one in four at the minute, don't they? 1 in 4 NHS workers is off.
Right.
And that's going to carry on, I guess, for the next 2 months.
One thing I do know, there's a building at Aintree University Hospital at the back. It's called the Sid Watkins Building, and it is a complex rehabilitation unit. And everyone who's in there taking complex rehabilitation has been discharged, so that they can free it up potentially for COVID-19. Patients, which is something. These are people who are in the middle of complex rehabilitation procedures.
Yeah.
Right there.
I've got Oh Jesus, supported living and all hospitals. Well, this is what we're talking about. This is what we opened the show with. This exact thing, and yet this isn't official yet. This is the issue we had. If Boris or one of his mates had stood there and said, "This is what we're now doing," and been honest with us, but they're not being honest, maybe to stop panic. I don't know. The
biggest mistake this government's made, and notwithstanding all the other ones that you could say were bigger ones, I mean, they haven't declared a state of emergency. If they'd have declared a state of emergency, we've suddenly got a different set of laws to work to. Instead, they've modified existing laws so that the police have powers to enforce advice.
Yes, as law. We mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
They're fining people for not following advice.
The only problem with that, though, is, I mean, the question we have to ask ourselves is, what would we rather the government actually did? Would we rather they empowered the police to do that, or would we rather have them legislate to say we have to stay in?
Yeah.
Well, legislate, because at least you can put a time scale on legislation.
Absolutely.
You could put in, it has to be reviewed in 3 months.
Couldn't agree more.
It has to be reviewed by law in 3 months, at which time it would get repealed. The ones that don't get repealed are the ones where they don't put expiry dates in there for review.
Yeah, that's bad news.
That's what we're facing. We're giving
it's very bad news.
Unbridled power, and the Tories are ushering more and more and more of it in.
Yeah.
It is a sinister thought, and I'm watching this unfold as well from my own little window on the world. I mean, I've only got access to the stuff that I've seen, so I mean, the reason I'm keeping in touch with as many streams as I can, I mean, especially things like this, because I know you guys research stuff to the nth degree. So this is now a source of information for myself, I guess, as much as anywhere else. But yeah, powers that are being introduced, powers ceded by the people, elected representatives. I mean, we've also got an entire opposition government where they're having a leadership contest.
Well, I'm not drawing correlations because I'm very tired of Godwin's law and things. But if we look at that as an extreme example, you had a country in Germany that was brought to its knees and kept on its knees with a population in fear, without. And what they did was elected a guy in who promised them change, gave them a scapegoat, gave them reasons, and then they gave him absolute power.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting we're all going to be Nazis or anything, but everyone said it wouldn't happen again, but they just fucking did it in Hungary. We're doing it here just more slowly. I was told by someone.
An enslaved, brainwashed nation.
I was told someone told me you're talking shit when I said we're all going to do the same as Hungary, but we'll do it incrementally with the full permission of the population. In fact, not just permission, they'll applaud.
They'll ask for it.
Well, the uncomfortable truth with Hitler was, as you said, the people were fucked. The world fucked them. And the uncomfortable truth with him is he was an inspiring, charismatic person, and he got people energized, and he got the economy back, and he gave people hope. And people don't want to talk about that because it's easy. And I'm not saying I respect him, but that's the truth of it. That speech that made it for him, when he stood there in total silence until every single person in the room shut up, and you can watch that speech, and it is
no one in the right mind
amazing
would ever deny that Adolf Hitler was an amazingly charismatic person. No one could deny, because every great dictator is.
Without those skills, he wouldn't have done what he wouldn't have achieved. If I want to call it, probably the worst word I could have probably used. The word achieve.
No, he did. He achieved his goals.
Oh yeah,
you don't have to approve of them. But the thing is, without a terrified population, you can't do it.
Absolutely right.
A population that's either hugely downtrodden, or in fear, or very religious. Strangely enough.
I like to think back of my time at school. I mean, I didn't particularly enjoy it, but I had a superb history teacher who taught us all that we weren't at war with the Germans, we were at war with the Nazis. And that being the case, we were shown a landscape where Germany was just a territory upon which a charismatic leader enslaved a nation and generally orchestrated one of the greatest atrocities that history has ever known. That being the case, it looks you start looking at the Germans in a totally different light, and you start thinking about them. That hatred and that ideology is within all of us.
Oh yeah,
that being the case,
goes without saying.
Yeah, that kind of thing is the kind of thing we've got to avoid, because it's the kind of thing that is going to be triggered, of all things, by the circumstances we're finding ourselves in right now.
There's another aspect to the coronavirus. Just to get. Oh, sorry. If you're going to finish the Germany thing, then we'll move on.
Well, it's just to wrap that up though. This is why it's important to protect freedom, and this is why it goes against some people's instincts, because the actual racists, the actual bastards, when people want to shut them down. But the problem is, you start removing freedoms, and you create a space for someone like Hitler to rise, for that charismatic leader to rise. Yeah. So, and they talk about the paradox of intolerance. No one that talks about the paradox of intolerance as an excuse to ban or silence someone has actually bothered to read the paradox of intolerance. The paradox is let them speak. You have to let them speak. You have to tolerate them. Otherwise, you create them. You have to. And that's what we're in danger of doing right now, you know. And
that
it's
was
accelerating.
beautifully put. I think I'm going to quote Hayden here. Actually, it was on a live leak feed one time, and I think I remembered it, and it stuck with me. Switching someone's microphone off doesn't switch off what they think in their head.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Never has. And a lot of people call me a hypocrite because, like, on live leak, the censorship and all that, as if that's my fucking outlook on life. You know, if I had my way, no one would ever be shut up. If I had my way, but if I had my way, Live Leak would have been shut down about 10 fucking years ago. You know, we all have to play a game. The only people that don't are the ones that just, you know, sit back with an anonymous username and do whatever they like. It's the same in society, but there's too much eagerness. And it's not just people on the left. I see people on the right saying, why aren't you banning these? They're supporting China. Why aren't you banning those? They're supporting fucking ISIS or whatever. It's like, well, dude, that's kind of how it works.
We need to know who these people are. I mean, if you silence everybody who has an abhorrent point of view, essentially they just go underground and we can't identify who it is we don't agree with.
Exactly. I mean, Happy Dog just said I always try to shut him up. That's because you're a rambling old tramp, dude.
Shut up, Happy Dog. We're not going to get Hitler too by letting you fucking speak. No. Shut up. I tell you though, this is an interesting thing here. You're talking about the right, and I see some of the more dramatic reporting on the right at the moment. And Manzi Munzer mentioned something along these lines in terms of hospitals being empty at the moment. And I'm seeing a lot of camera phone footage of like, look, you know, this is a supposed war zone, but people aren't realizing that hospitals are empty for a reason. Even the ones that are overwhelmed, nobody's allowed in the corridors, nobody's allowed outside of the wards. It's not like your usual hospital scenario where there's visitors are not allowed. If there's anything, everything's been cancelled. So yes, hospitals are empty, even the ones that are in serious trouble right now, for a reason. You know, so if you walk in and go around the corridors and go, look, there's no one here, this is all bullshit, it's like, no, there's no one there. That's because we're doing what we should be doing. They're supposed to be. I've been asking Soph, like, you know, every day she comes home, I'm like, well, what's the situation? Is your place overwhelmed yet? What's going on? And she's like, I don't know. I work there, but I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone at all. That's intentional. But that's being presented as, you know, oh, they're just lying to you. And it's not. It's quite the opposite.
I just want to bring something up actually that I've not mentioned. We spoke a lot about, you know, the need for more positivity and support for business people and things like that. Now, as everyone knows, I'm an absolute fucking car crash at the best of times, but I am going to be working with someone who's in chat right now, Stephen Englander, on a show aimed at small businesses, self-employed, things like that, about what opportunities might be there, what you can deal with, how you can get through this, how you can thrive at the other end. Stephen is a business development specialist, professional accountant, got his own accounting company. And, you know, he's agreed to do something where hopefully we're going to bring other business people into the stream as well and just create a little positivity and hopefully do something positive for people and help keep them on the right track, keep them positive, keep them focused, things like that. So that's going to be starting pretty soon. I don't know the times. It won't be coming out with fucking trigger warning. I won't be sat there calling everyone a fucking cunt on it and stuff. But I just think we all need to do whatever we can, whatever little thing we can.
I tell you what, as well, you lot in chat, you should probably be nice to Stephen because, he's done trigger warning quite a few favors. So you
no Stephen, no trigger warning.
Yeah, go easy on being a knob with him because he's a good guy.
Conversely, it means you can blame Stephen.
Oh yeah. The next time the stream goes down, personally hold him to account, definitely.
I think that stream will be a good one because you know, he's got years of experience, you know, and just the people that will bring in, and if it just makes a tiny difference for everybody, that's got to be worth it, right? It's got to be. Somebody tell me it's fucking worth it because I'm going to be seriously out of my depth on that. I'm just going to try and be there to be the butter in the sandwich.
No, it's good. It's good. Of course it is, man. And it's it's to keep people talking as well, because this draconian nonsense has been it's too much, man. It's too much. It's going to completely wreck the economy, and then more people will die because nobody, they'll be like, all right, could you just drive to the hospital so we can have a look at you, because there's no ambulances. It's like, well, I sold my fucking car a month ago for food, and that, I know that's a sort of exaggeration, but that's kind of what we got. Oh, here we go.
Happy Dog is so much closer to the truth than he believes. He's got no idea. But I'm really looking forward to doing that. I've also been talking with Daz. Daz is going to come on perhaps at the weekend, so maybe on Saturday. Daz, who does Beyond the Pale, and he's part of the Trigger Warning family. We're going to try and get him on. He can't come on during the week because he needs at least 12 hours sleep a night, I believe, to keep the beauty thing going, and he has to put his nightie on and all that shit.
Dude, I accidentally didn't. Did you notice when we were in the backstage bit before we went on air? I forgot to put my light on, and the bags under my eyes were like. Just before we went on air, I was like, "Oh God, they can't see the real me." So then I'm just like, "There we go, nice film right there. Oh, lovely." Right. Jay keeps asking us about our opinion on
Jay.
Trump.
That's Dirty Jay. That's Dirty Jay that used to do the Live League show. The one who didn't want his mum to know he was banging prostitutes abroad. Oh, shit. Sorry. I can't say it well, is it? I was going to say the rest. Jay, how do we think Trump's handled it? Terrible. Trump's been a fucking idiot. He's made rash promises, but I get it. Trump's all about the markets and his own image, and that's fine. America's got a problem at the moment with this infection, but so has everybody else. But Trump has said the most outrageously stupid shit. That doesn't mean I tacitly endorse fucking Bernie or anybody else, but there's no denying that Trump coming out with stuff like when you had 10 cases in the States. It's the black helicopters, guys. It'll be like a miracle. It'll just be gone. It's just gone. But he does what he does. He doesn't handle it any more than Boris Johnson handles it.
I don't think he's handling it particularly worse. The problem in America is, liberty is sort of so fundamental to their political system, and also individual states' powers. It's kind of like it's extremely difficult right now, because whenever anything goes right, that state will take that the kudos. Whenever anything goes wrong, it's going to be fed back up to Trump, isn't it? So
comment.
Go on. What? Looking good, Aidan. I'd say my issue right now with Trump is he's not been reported on fairly, and usually that's a game he likes to play. He knows that CNN are going to lie, but I think right now they should have done the decent thing and knocked the sensationalist nonsense on the head.
Well, we spoke about this last night, didn't we?
Yeah.
Where fucking all these airheads at CNN and all these others. Trump has said some genuinely stupid shit.
Oh, yeah. It's when he goes off script,
why
isn't it?
not just focus on that? Why do you have to invent bullshit? Because all you're doing when you invent bullshit is making his base stronger.
Yeah.
That's all it does. You can rail against him all you like, but the more you throw shit at him that's untrue and misrepresented, the stronger you make him. It's like that old Obi-Wan shit, innit? If you strike me down. Except he wouldn't like you to strike him down. He's bone spurs, dude.
Here's an interesting. Jay's just asked about the medicines he's recommended. I mean, he didn't specifically outly recommend it. Here's the timeline for that. So it's that we talked about it. Aidan was talking about the guy in France, wasn't he, that was trialing it, and then doctors all over the world were using the same or similar combinations, and it was looking good. And the media, all across the world, it was widely reported as a hopeful story that what was it? Chlorine? I can't remember the name.
Hydroxychloroquine.
That's the one. That was reported in the news everywhere as like hopes are up. This is being looked into right now.
Trump mentioned it,
and then the second Trump mentioned it, it was and all he did was mention the fact that I've just said as they were. He said, I can't remember the exact words, but it's like, it's looking hopeful. We're trying to get that approved right now. People have been prescribing it. I don't know how they say it in America, but it's off label or something,
Yeah, it's off something or other. Yeah,
and that's what he said. And then suddenly it was like Donald Trump tells people to take this,
remember after he said that,
what?
And they started saying, man followed Trump's advice and died. What most of them didn't print in the papers was that fucking Nimrod took fish tank cleaner.
He did, yeah. And
fish tank cleaner.
And this is the thing in terms of media accountability. They just spent the last week mentioning it constantly. Some moron takes it, and then everyone's like, Trump did this. And it's like, what the fuck, man?
But that's the thing,
no, we
didn't. He didn't just take it. He decided on a marvelous additive based on them fucking lunatics that drink the mild bleach, saying it'll cure you of AIDS, cancer, and diarrhea. The man took fish tank cleaner. That's not Donald Trump's fault. At no point did he say, you know what you need to add to that? You need some of that fish tank cleaner. I'm half surprised nobody came out on social media saying, well, he didn't say not to take fish tank cleaner.
Well, the headlines were all along the same sort of theme of couple die or man die or whatever it was after taking Trump's advice to have this malaria drug. They openly lied about what they even said. They specifically said malaria drug, which they hadn't taken. They hadn't done at all, and they fucking knew that. But they wanted the click. They wanted people that go, oh, Drumpf, fucking idiot, fucking idiot. They want that sweet click, and unfortunately, then some states banned it completely.
But you know what we really need to cure this?
It's insane. Go on,
Cough-Heavy. Cough-Heavy, sort that shit right out.
They should call the vaccine that.
Call him.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
If
we've got it, Graham, we've got it. An Israeli tobacco company that produces a vaccine called Cough-Heavy.
Cough-Heavy.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. That'd be like natural selection in action, wouldn't it? That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you had your Cough-Heavy today? Yes, I have.
The single biggest problem, I think, with the hydroxychloroquine or the chloroquine phosphate, I mean, they've done the trials into it and they look pretty hopeful, but it's an anti-malaria drug with a label that comes with it, with a list of side effects. Some people shouldn't be taking that on the best of days a week anyway.
No.
The other thing with it, which if you have to reascribe a purpose to a drug, you've got to go through a number of different hoops as well. So they're having a number of problems with it because you could get it over the counter. It's not a prescription drug. You can get this stuff just from any chemist. If it suddenly becomes something that can treat corona, whatever they call it, COVID-19, I don't know why I forgot the name of it for just a brief minute.
Well, we don't hear a lot about it. It's understandable.
Yeah, so it might be something to do with the time of day, or rather morning there is now. The thing with it is the reascribing of a purpose to an existing medicine is a complicated process. They've actually got to get it done by complex means. Sorry
to interrupt. Cherry sent me a request to join 20 minutes ago.
No, Cherry. You should have sent me.
Cherry,
I'm on it.
I sent Cherry the link 20 minutes
really?
ago. Cherry,
the link.
I don't know if it's
messaging you girls
a link clicking problem or if he's just gone off piste. I honestly thought Cherry was going to be with us there, but apparently we're having some cherry bombs. Luckily, we're not in a rush. So if you would like to join in, by the way, if you've got a webcam, come and join us. All you got to do is drop us a quick DM at Triggered TV on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, email us live at Trigger Warning TV. We'll send you an invite. You can come and join in for as long as you like or until we cut you off. But do join us because we're trying to open the stream up as much as we can. So we'll have a mixture of Graham and me shows, Thursday shows, and ones where we can all have a chat, and we'll be getting more guests on as well. So do come on and join us. It's so easy. All you have to do is click a link and allow us. Cherry has also emailed us the same thing. And
I've got to say as well, guys, make sure you do subscribe and hit notifications because I'm looking again at subscriptions and Trigger Warning is not there again, We are not there. So if you go on YouTube, you hit your thing. Yeah, I'm subscribed with a bell, and I did get a notification to say it's starting, but this is currently not in my notifications, which is very, very frustrating. It's not in my subscription, so please hit the bell and drop us a share, because
there's no love for us on YouTube. There's just no love. Although Robin says Facebook is a convenient platform.
Yes, but they don't share. They don't let us know either. You've got to know it's there to find it. But we've talked about coronavirus a little bit too much, and YouTube's just absolutely killed any organic sharing.
They smashed the shit out of it.
So the many people who message us going, why haven't you got more subscribers? You guys should be taking off and all that. That only happens if you drop us a share the clips, share to let people know we're live. It's the only way. And you know what? I know we talk about a lot of controversial stuff, and the language can be a bit funny. So just private message people, just drop them a link in a DM. Just say, check this out, man. It's awesome. Unless you're aphid lip that's just accused us of just parroting right-wing media, which is beyond parody.
That's because aphid lip hangs around bitterly masturbating to every Donald Trump tweet there's ever been.
I know, dude. Wait. Come on, mate. You're capable of more than that. You're intelligent.
Polarized hate is foolishness, dude. You know that. I know you don't like Trump. He's not a likable guy. I get it. The Republican Party aren't a likable party, but neither are the Democrats, so it's all good. The fucking Democrats at the moment. If I was in America right now, there's no way on. I would be voting Republican. Whoever my local whatever was. Oh, we already know that.
Right now. The fucking lunatics that the Democrat Party are right now. I mean, I used to love Obama, but these days, that whole thing with the rescue package they did was just yet another nail in the coffin for the Democrats, as far as I'm concerned. Attaching fucking airline emissions to it and all that other nonsense. And don't get me wrong, some of it was good. Arts centres, yes, I get it. They need funding just like everyone else, and those things need to exist once it's over. But holding that over for a whole fucking week whilst people are desperate for money was, people like we talked about here, they've lost their jobs, and no, that was unacceptable, because it was always going to get passed, always, and adding all those pages, no, ridiculous. Fuck that. I'll be back in 1 second.
Yeah.
There's a big problem in the United States because of the nature of the entire political framework. I mean, at the end of the day, the Bill of Rights, which everyone is brainwashed into tattooing on their soul at school, who's going to give that up in a state of emergency, or otherwise want to have a look at or think about the fact that it might not be in your best interests today? We could come back to that when everyone's okay. But this is the thing, the very political setup in America as it is. And I love America. It's not this isn't me having a pop at America or being unduly judgmental of it. But the actual political system in and of itself isn't doing the people any favors at the moment, I don't think.
So Jay has asked there, do you think China's lying about the figures? In fact, he asked quite a lot about the World Health Organization. We have spoke about this at length on previous streams, but it's fine. Of course, China are fucking lying. They're lying. This virus was active in China. Now we know it was as early as November. Some are now hinting a little bit earlier, and we know it didn't originate from the wet market. New research has come out. They think it was a certain breed of bat that wasn't available at the wet market, but was being researched just down the road at their
research lab.
Yeah. So it got out. The doctors involved have mysteriously fucking died. People have vanished. People were welded inside their apartments. They're saying that everything's fine, everything's good, there's no more cases, but for some reason there's still fucking riots on the streets in like Wuhan now because they've had enough of being locked in their houses. No, what China did was very clever. They kept their mouth shut. Rest of the world got hit, and when the stocks dropped, they moved in and bought shit tons of them. And tons of them.
Not only that, I think it was January. You'll have to fact check me on this. I think it was January 31st where they just straight up stopped publishing data on things like cremations. but people have been matching the spike in cremations to the official numbers, and they do not match. And now they've just stopped them completely. They've not been available for weeks. China isn't letting any information out at all. And as far as I'm concerned, where we are at a point right now globally where everyone is sharing as much information as possible. And China, I'm sure they're not the only country, but if they're keeping stum about how many cremations they're doing, whilst at the same time saying 0 new cases today, guys, there's just too much. There's too much hiding of evidence.
The amount of people cheerleading a communist fucking regime as a torturous human rights record is amazing. Their hatred of Trump and Boris and all that is so deep that they're taking sides with fucking China.
Look, man,
China.
Trump is an asshole, but at least he's an asshole that's batting for Americans.
Yes,
he wants America. He doesn't want Americans to do badly. That is very much not in his plan right now, and it hasn't.
I don't think. The truth is, I don't think he wants anyone else to do particularly badly. Anyway, he just wants Americans to do better, and that's his fucking job.
Yeah, and you know what? You could point at it as, well, that's his ego. He just wants to be seen as the thing. It's like, yeah, but who cares why he's doing it? Who gives a shit?
His only job is to ensure the safety and prosperity of the American people.
Yeah.
Not to help anybody else, not to look after other countries, not to care about feelings. His only job is to ensure the safety and prosperity of the American people. Full stop. End of story. Just as our Prime Minister should be looking after us, just as Macron should be looking after France, and he usually does. Just that's how it fucking should be. So if he upsets people in England, Germany, New Zealand, France, fucking Belgium, who gives a flying fuck?
Here's the thing about Boris, and this is a common thing, and it's not quite as bad as the American media, but it's this thing of like, well, he just wants to be the next Churchill, and he wrote a book about Churchill. This is a very definite thing. He does want to be seen as the next Churchill, and people are mocking him for that, but it's like, so what? I don't give a shit. If he wants to be a hero, then good. Then he has motivation to do his best.
People say that, don't they? And then they say he wants to be the man that invented concentration camps. And I would put forward, just to guess, that's perhaps not the thing he really wants to emulate.
No,
nobody becomes prime minister thinking, "Oh, I hope I can fuck as many of these people over as possible." I mean, I despise the Tories. I genuinely do. They're hateful. They really are awful. They fuck the poorest and most vulnerable in society relentlessly. I have nothing but contempt for them. But I feel the same about Labour, just for different reasons. Yeah. But I can't attack Boris Johnson saying he wants to, commit genocide on the British people, because of course he fucking doesn't. Who wants to go down in history as that man? Nobody. Theresa May didn't want to go down in history as the worst prime minister we've ever had, but that's how shit panned out for her. Boris Johnson doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. He wants to do something. I mean, the Tories, no matter how ineffectual it's going to turn out being with these care packages and the aid package and all that, the fact is the Tories have done something that nobody in a million years would believe a Conservative government would do. Nobody in a million. If you said to anybody 12 months ago, there's going to be a super flu type affair, the Tories are going to look away at subsidising wages and keeping people in jobs and easing mortgage payments and rent payments. If you said that to anyone, they'd have thought you were absolutely fucking mental.
Yeah.
Labour to the extent it is, but I don't think there's even any, I don't think there's actually a right wing in this country, though. I don't think it exists. No. I think the Conservatives and Labour are left. They're just at different points along it.
I put them on the right side of centrist.
Yeah,
I'm talking on political degrees.
Yeah, in terms of ours.
Yeah, people call them far right, and that's just fucking insane.
No, oh God, no. No.
They are the right of politics in this country.
Well, the thing is, right doesn't really, of politics, but right doesn't actually exist in this country. Nobody's arguing for smaller government. Nobody's arguing for lower taxes. The Tories put the taxes up. You know,
But,
nobody's arguing for actual right-wing
yeah,
policy.
sorry, I don't even like the left-right thing very much.
No, it's not very useful, to be honest.
Conservative and liberal in the classic sense, and what we have are deviations from that now, many deviations. At one point, Labour and the Tories were pulled so far to the centre with the Tony Blair government in particular.
Indistinguishable.
Yeah, they were like one big fucking party. And the only reason we got space now is I don't think the Tories have moved. If anything, I think maybe they've shifted a little left. But what we called the left previously fucks off way over there.
Well,
you know, they've gone off reservation.
You know, if you want to take the actual definition of liberal, Boris Johnson is more liberal than the vast majority of the big voices in Labour right now.
Liberalism is totally misunderstood now. You can be a conservative and be tremendously liberal.
Yeah, of course.
Freedom of speech is a liberal ideal, fiercely defended by most conservatives. And it is freedom of religion, fiercely defended by many conservatives. In America, the right to bear arms. That's a very liberal idea, that you should be able to have a gun to protect you from your own government. But liberal now has somehow become leftist, and they're not the same thing. Not even close.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
socialist.
Smoke Steve, just like the word lit, Americans have destroyed the word liberal. You've completely misunderstood what it means, and you've bastardized it for the last 40 years out of existence completely. You really shouldn't be saying liberal anymore. It's a bad thing, because a lot of your Republicans are very, very liberal, and that's what they're, you know, the libertarians are right. It just doesn't make any sense. Stop saying liberal, Steve, please. It makes no sense.
No.
Using it wrong. As much as I hate to correct Americans on the correct use of the English language, as you know, you're fucking it up, mushmouth. Stop it.
It's as bad as your tea.
It's as good a phrase as any. You know, authoritarian wannabe socialist is also a good one. They're not liberals.
No.
They are not liberal. The people on the far left, they're not remotely liberal. They're practically fucking fascists.
And they hate liberals. If you call them a liberal, fuck you. They hate it. They can't stand it. It's all very confusing. Again, left-right isn't very useful anymore at all.
I don't like the left-right paradigm at all. I mean, I tend to organise politics in my own head into organic and artificial frameworks. And what I mean by that is the organic frameworks are a whole lot more aligned to who we are as a species, and the artificial ones are to do with a different kind of ideology, where we've got people's ideas that might work or might not, and then we only find out when we try it. And the reason that certain things over the history of political discourse across the planet have unfolded the way they've unfolded, certain things have worked and stuck, and certain things have necessitated revolutions here, there, and everywhere at different times. And what they can all be ascribed to is the extent to which they align with our nature as a species. At the end of the day, I mean, what we want is what we will end up with as a matter of inevitability for government. And the left-right thing is ultimately an artificial thing, and it polarizes every single debate, which shouldn't be polarized.
That's not what we call the party. Conservative is actually the name of the party.
It is, but
it's not actually a descriptor. It's just their name. The Labour Party, Labour Party, they've moved so far away from that ideal. It's just the name. The Liberal Democrats, that's my favourite one. They are neither liberal
or democratic.
But they're called the Liberal Democrats. No. You know, it doesn't make sense. It genuinely doesn't make sense.
I mean, the Labour Party's got a big problem, and it's a lot bigger than most people realise. And the problem with it is that every single objective that it had to start with has been achieved. And then that being the case, I mean, what do they stand for now? I mean, they're starting to invent stuff that it stands for, because every single objective that was originally set, that party was set up to achieve, has been achieved through legislation. Now we have a lot more workers' rights than we ever had. We've got a whole lot more legislation in place to protect us in terms of health and safety at work, and you know the list I'm going to list off here. So what is it that the Labour Party do? I mean, at the moment, their entire existence seems to be to just oppose what's happening.
Their job is actually to sort out gender neutral toilets.
It's to do all women shortlists and then fill it with men in dresses.
Yeah, that's basically their main priority at the moment.
Call you a bigot if you even blink. There's just a load of men with beards.
But Labour must have been so pissed off with something. The Tories went, right, we're giving everyone money. And we're sorting this out. We're cancelling rent payment, mortgage payments. We're going to make this. But they must have been so fucked off that all they had left, probably at the end of this massive speech, that's all well and good, Prime Minister Johnson. But what about the gender neutral toilets? What about those?
Oh.
That's all we've got left. And the Lib Dems are sat there going, fuck, that was ours. They've got to think of something new now.
I mean, I did feel sorry for Jo losing her seat. The fact that she was wanting to be Prime Minister and then didn't end up being a politician at all.
It was beautiful. I didn't feel sorry for her at all. She came up with this great plan, didn't she? I'm going to appeal to the woke people on Twitter.
I know.
And
none of them vote. None of them fucking vote. They don't get off their own asses and get a job. They're not going to go vote. Jesus Christ. It's the same problem Bernie had, isn't it? Bernie's got this big movement. None of them vote, though.
But the Brexit vote, none of the young people went out and voted, but they all turned out for a demonstration in London a couple of days later. How could you do this to us? Well, maybe if you go out your fucking bed.
Yeah. Instead of spending 12 hours on a Saturday waving your Drumpf sign and calling everyone that looks at you a Nazi, and actually just went and fucking vote. And I tell you what, the amount of people I've got in arguments, Labour voters that were really, really upset, and I'm like, well, I didn't vote for either of them, but I certainly would not have voted for Labour, that's for sure. And they're like, but why? And I'm like, well, did you read the policies? They were evil. They were pure evil. And they're like, none of them have fucking read it. They're all just following the good man, And I'm like, well, mate, get on the fucking channel, because I spent hours going through it word by word, and it was evil. Yeah, it was the shit we're seeing now. And I mean,
I read the Conservative one too, and that was similar. I mean, it
was just lazy and vague, wasn't it?
Some of it was, some of it wasn't. I think that the dependence they've got on the extent to which the human beings that are voting haven't read it. Is the framework from which they operate. I mean, they don't operate based on the idea that everyone who's going to vote is going to read the manifestos.
No, they just believe the bullshit. Corbyn stands there with his thing going, look, this 48-page document is how the Tories are going to sell the NHS. It's like, no, they're not. No, they weren't. It didn't say that in there. But everyone watches it and goes, he's fighting for us, and he's fighting for us. He's fucking
nip off for a toilet break to get a couple of drinks and stuff. You guys carry on, though. By the way,
no worries.
Get in touch and ask us for a link live at trigger1.tv or at Triggered TV on Twitter. We'll send you a link. You can join in. Just to remind you, Steve Berry, you know who Steve Berry is. I put on Facebook today about, isn't it amazing that the most important people in society are paid so poorly?
Yeah.
He came out with, well, 10 weeks ago, we had a chance to vote for a socialist government, but everyone said, fuck off. It's like, yeah, that's right, Steve. They did, because it'd be worse. What socialist fucking government were we supposed to vote for? Jeremy Corbyn. Guys, I'll be back in about 5 weeks ago.
That was my main issue with the fucking plan that they had, was the instant pay rises for people, and then and then when asked, well, what about the if you raise wages arbitrarily for everyone rather than letting the market decide, costs go up. And when asked, what will you do? It's like, no, we're gonna put a cap on that. And it's like, really? Fixed wages and fixed prices. Have you not looked at any country on the planet where this has been implemented on that scale and seen the destruction it causes? That's why I say it's evil. It's evil in the sense that, like, what this does. This gets you into power through populist things, because people are like, I should be on £15 an hour, yes, without actually having the conversation about what does that £15 buy you. Because last week it bought you 10 loaves of bread, or more like fucking 20 loaves of bread, whatever. But what happens when that 15 only buys you 2 loaves of bread? That's the point. And very few people I know that deal with Labour think in those terms, because unfortunately in their circles they don't have legitimate conversations about money. They don't even understand what wealth is.
No.
Someone donates 100 million and they're like, well, that's just 0.2% of Jeff Bezos' wealth. And it's like, yeah, but his wealth and all these people's wealth isn't the money they have in the bank. Bezos is only worth what he's worth because he owns those shares. If you gave all Bezos's shares to me, I wouldn't have the same wealth. It would dip instantly because they'd be like, what the fuck? This knobhead's in charge now. It's so much more complicated than like, well, you should just give your money to people, because how many people that win the lottery go broke? You know, it's you can't. My most important thing is education. That's how you build wealth. That's how you share the wealth, by educating people, because then they personally are worth more. It's not about sharing the pie. It's about teaching people to make fucking pies. You know what I mean?
I couldn't agree more. I think you're absolutely right. And education is my big thing. I mean, I'm a big fan of educational ideas that are implemented all over the world. In terms of the politics, I think the left, to be fair, have been given a massive, massive lifeline here, and I'll explain why.
Go on.
Well, ultimately, let's say that Boris Johnson lost the last election. Let's say Corbyn's prime minister. He's not had time to implement the policies. He's not had time to build the hospitals. He's not had time to do anything like the promises that have been in place. And if this had happened then, notwithstanding everyone saying, what's this going to be like? Oh, the Labour manifesto is going to make it a whole lot worse. Well, it would have been probably worse, but they hadn't had enough time to implement everything that was in that manifesto at all.
No, the problem with the policies they do is it takes 5-10 years to kick in.
It's
does.
Not that,
yeah. You know, and again, people can't even remember 2 weeks ago, so they're not going to be thinking in terms of that. You know, I mean, like the shit that Labour did with the Communications Act. You know, the
that's atrocious.
That's taken 15-20 years to actually kick in.
It's been in place for a long time, but it's never they've not had a prosecution on it. Is this the one regarding perceived communications that could be offensive?
Yeah, they can arrest you for tweets, basically. The famous one being the Nazi dog. You know, the
Meacham case.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to be honest. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was pretty sick, but that's only my own personal opinion. The very idea that he should have been prosecuted for it is a whole different question.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the argument I had with a lot of people who were saying this is disgusting. And it's like, yeah, all right.
It was pretty grim, if I'm to be fair.
Yeah, but should someone face prison? And here's the thing:
it's illegal. I mean, the very idea that was a legal problem, that he couldn't do that by law. I mean, we how much freedom have we got? What did we fight for?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing now, but it's in people's heads that someone should be arrested for racism, and it's like, well, hold up, what about you know all these lunatics? You haven't
got enough prison space for racists. I mean,
it doesn't make any sense. Well, what crime is being committed? Who's the victim? I don't want to. It's illegal. Who decides?
It's illegal to behave in a racist manner which discriminates against an individual, which compromises their freedom, liberty, or employment opportunities, or everything else. It isn't illegal to be a racist.
Exactly,
it's illegal to conduct yourself in a manner which is racist, which has a palpable or measurable impact on somebody else. And racism is largely misunderstood as well. Racism is to do with intention rather than it's what's actually said or what's actually done, because it's the intention that's the real bottom line and the real cutting element of it that we need to be safeguarding against, I guess.
But here's the thing for me though. You can't. This is why you have to have absolute free speech beyond incitement and direct stuff. Because how the fuck do you define it? As far as I'm concerned, at the moment, all these pricks doing safe spaces for black people, that to me is extremely racist. The BBC having quotas.
There's a difficulty there. I mean, there's a difference between racism and discriminatory practice. So, I mean, there's a distinction you can draw there when it comes to spaces and certain things, because there are intentions. You could describe naive intentions to certain actions, which could then be considered discriminatory practice. Racism in and of itself is a different matter. That's a question of intention. discriminatory practice which serves a purpose purportedly for the benefit of equality in a wider sense is one thing. But
yeah, but these things are tangibly damaging, though. You know,
they are. Oh, they're measurably damaging.
It's insane to me. But this is why you just don't fucking have these laws punishing people for it, because it's ridiculous. Because it's so up in the air. You know, it's like the way they're getting loads of women on STEM courses now, and they're getting themselves into tens of thousands of pounds worth of debt to do a STEM course they were sort of pushed into, that they're very, very likely to then drop out of. And I'm not saying women do not do STEM ever. My partner does. She fucking loves it. But at the moment, we've got this thing where we're, the best intentions, we're destroying people's prospects, because there's this whole fucking obsession with getting people to do things that they don't necessarily want to do. It'd be like getting me to become a mumble rapper. Do you know what I mean? And just like, Graham, you're going to be the next big, and then encouraging me to devote the next 4 years of my life to being a mumble rapper, and constantly saying, no, you've got to, because as far as they're concerned, they're righting some great societal wrong. But ultimately, that shit ain't in me, man, and it's never going to happen.
One comment up in, is that all right?
Yeah. Please do.
Someone said.
First, this is really important. What the fuck is a mumble rapper?
It's just rapping. It's a kind of rapping.
Just someone who's bad at it.
Look, man. Okay, yeah. I listen to Childish Gambino, and every now and again, Google plays other things, and I've just Googled, and I go, oh, they're quite like this, and then I Google, and I find out who they are. All right. I listen to white people rap. Okay, it's not real rap. It's the sort of thing that people like me enjoy.
Listen to
there's this one that.
Go on.
It's all right. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Did you have to click on it twice in the live comment feed, or how do you pull that up?
I don't know if you can, but I can.
All right.
Only Hayden can.
It's just. Oh, right. Is that the way it was?
If you start reading it, Hayden will pull it up for you.
All discrimination's wrong. You can't have equality of outcome. That's the one. All discrimination is not wrong. Discrimination is the foundation upon which we choose who our friends are. At the end of the day, I mean, every single thing, every decision that you make is a discrimination. I mean, you choose who you wish to speak to, you choose who you don't wish to speak to. I know what you're saying, and I understand exactly what's motivated that comment, and I do agree with the sentiment of it. But at the end of the day, discrimination is within us. And discrimination is the difference on one level between me picking out the oxtail soup or the chicken soup, all the way up to whether or not I like or don't like people who have a different coloured skin. The reason that discrimination is legislated against at the other end of the spectrum from the soup example is because that has a palpable and measurable it can make a difference to people's lives, which we are not entitled to make. That's the reason. That's the case. Just to pull up on the discrimination thing.
Yeah, I had someone went to me the other day with this of like, well, you can't have someone not hiring someone because of the color of the skin, and I get that in principle, but there is a complication there. Like, if you're black, why would you want to work for someone that hates black people? Why would you want to do that?
It's a difficult one, that, because what you've got is, I mean, you're not entitled to discriminate by law when it comes to employing somebody, unless
I know, but at the same time, what's the point of sort of forcing that? Do you know what I mean? Like if I don't want to work for someone that hates me because of the color of my skin or my sexuality.
I couldn't agree more in principle. The problem is there's only a certain number of employment opportunities for some people, and some people don't have a choice, and that's the real measurable.
You cannot legislate against life being hard and shit and people being assholes. You can't,
No, absolutely.
I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and go, right, I'm going to be a video game designer, and then anything worth having is a struggle, anything. But ultimately, I mean, like with me working in the media, I've worked in the media all my life, but the way I look and the way I talk, a lot of the money people at the BBC, a lot of these, I've gone to these sort of fundraising events and things like that, where you sort of sell yourself and your abilities. They hear my accent and just straight away the light goes out in their eyes. And I know they're not going to make a thing for me. And I know that I didn't get a lot of work for that, but I don't want that to be illegal or bad. It's just the way the world is. You cannot legislate against it.
No,
And
you can.
I see why people try to. I do, but to me, it feels like a waste. You know. Sorry, go on.
You can legislate against. Well, you can legislate against the way people behave and their entitlement to do certain things, but you can't legislate against who they are. That's the bottom line with it. I mean, if you legislated against, well, I wish you could sometimes as well.
You don't wish I could.
But
I wish I could.
Most of the jobs I've got have been because people liked me. You know, that's not and for whatever reason, you know, it just seems if you're going to spend day in and day out with someone, then they have to bloody like you. You know, a job. No one has a right to a job. No one has a right to somebody else's employment. You know, it just seems really strange to me.
Can I just say, Rick Kerr seems to have a real hard-on for you reading a law dictionary.
Oh, Rick Kerr's been going off his head. I saw something he said before about educate, like you're not educating or something. It's like, no, I was advocating for good education. And then Graham, you're not educating people. That was it. And then Tesla Rock said, whilst we were gone, Aidan, we were talking about the importance of education. And in my opinion, educating people is the way to create wealth. That's how you share wealth, because it's your personal, what you are worth to society. That's how you build wealth. But indoctrination or education was Tesla Rourke's comment, and I totally agree with you there, mate. I wasn't advocating for what we have now. I think the education system is fucked. I think it's ridiculous. It's churning out kids that are good at memorizing things and laying it all out, and there's no critical thinking there. There's no business acumen. There's very little actual fucking people skills and reality going on, and it's insane.
He's trying to fucking trigger me. He said the government are going to fix the BBC payment to the council tax. Now they're looking at various things. Council tax, adding to your internet bill, and basically finding ways of squeezing the license fee out of you without license fee, because the license fee is going to go. This is not a sustainable thing. They spend more money chasing old ladies than they spend on children's television.
Yep. That's a fact, by the way. You can go and look at the financial reports. That is a fact. Nailed on fact.
They spend far more in chasing license fee evasion than they do in educational children's television. So now they're looking at piggybacking it on them. So your broadband bill will go up, and a portion of that will be given to the BBC. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah,
that's fucking well. At least nobody will be getting prosecuted now, and we still get no adverts. Fuck you, and your aversion to adverts, you communist prick.
Do you know what? Charge every single person in this country £1 a year, right? £1 a year. What have we got? 60, 70 million people? That's 67. Give them that for the news. Give them that for the news output. Anything else, they can fucking pay for it.
My choice. Not even £1. Not even a penny. I would pay £1. I would pay £1 a month, maybe. At the minute, I've got to pay the full fucking thing because Mrs. Hewitt won't let me fuck them off.
Sophie won't let me do it either. She won't let me stop it. And I'm like, but we don't even watch it.
Well, license fee's an antiquated thing that's been clung on.
Ridiculous.
But look at it this way. I mean, Netflix cannot come to me and say, right, Netflix costs that. And I go, I don't want to pay it. I don't want it. Right, fine. Okay, well, you've got to pay for Amazon anyway. What?
I know. But
fuck yourself.
Dude, the BBC website alone is one of the biggest websites on the planet. Would it really hurt to have an Amazon advert at the top? Do you know what I mean? Would it really fucking kill them to have a few click-through links?
Here's the important thing. I do not give a fuck if it hurts or not. If they can't stand on their own 2 feet, they go fucking bankrupt. I know so many people work for them, and that is truly dreadful, but they're hideously overstaffed. It's absolutely fucking... They send like 4 different camera crews out to one event because they're overstaffed. That's not sustainable. It's a ridiculous, antiquated, as Nick said, it just...
And here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. They bend the rules for us. Here's an interesting statistic for you, or an interesting fact, and you might not realize this, but do you remember He-Man and G.I. Joe and all this stuff that you grew up loving and knowing, and we're all into it now? The reason that exists is the rules around children's television in this country that were linked to the license fee. If you made children's television, you couldn't make toys based around it. It was illegal. You couldn't do that. There was a very strict rules around advertising. The way around that was to buy shows in from abroad, which is why the whole thing in the 80s and the 90s, when they started loosening it, was we're all into He-Man because it was a foreign thing. That's why we all watched Transformers and all the rest of it, because it was a workaround. And what they did was, in recent years, you will have noticed, they loosened that rule for BBC. So if you watch In the Night Garden and then you go to thing, there's Night Garden magazines, there's toys, there's every fucking thing you could imagine. And isn't it amazing that they can loosen the financial thing on that side of things? They can sell toys to my daughter when she's at an age of incredible vulnerability, and yet they can't have adverts on the website.
Yeah,
you know,
it's ridiculous. It's a fucking joke.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's got to go. They offer nothing except for people that wear rose-tinted fucking glasses.
Dude, I've got a bad feeling this is going to end soon, so I want to tell you my conspiracy theory. This is genuine, nailed on, tinfoil that shit. So have you seen all the reports about people being harassed for Easter eggs recently? There's been a whole thing going around, hasn't there? Yeah. I don't believe a fucking word of it. This is one of them, you know, when someone makes an offensive advert just to get everyone talking about it. I reckon, because for 2-3 weeks solid, every time I went in the shop, all the Easter eggs were on sale. Everyone was panicking. Nobody was buying them. Nobody was buying them anyway. So what did they do? They put it around that you're not allowed to, so that everyone got dead indignant. And an army of people went, I'm going to go get one right fucking now to show those cunts I can't be controlled. And apparently, I guarantee it.
The truth of it is, I mean, you could be correct. And I like it. I like your version almost as much as I like the idea that Zoom conferencing released the virus. But apparently it wasn't the police. It was one local council that said, you know, that's not an essential thing. That was all they said. And of course, because you react to local councils like you'd react to a tramp with AIDS.
Follow the money, Hayden. Where did all those articles come from about it, though? Follow the money. Cadbury's paid those people to write your Yahoo things.
You know, but councils are having a whale of a time now. They're going to take on all these laws. Because with the anti-terror laws, they got in trouble for trying to use them on the foot, for about emptying bins as a reason to be able to spy on you if you're overfilling your fucking bin. They tried to subvert anti-terror laws. They're going to be all over this like a rash. This is fucking terrible. Go and buy an Easter egg, guys. Do your bit. Yeah,
show them that you can't be controlled.
Fuck the diabetes. Just get stuck in.
I'll be honest, I saw them on sale. I mean, we all knew this was coming. I stacked up a few weeks ago. So there's once it rolls round.
We had a load of cream eggs, caramel eggs, and because it's Junior's birthday, and that usually falls during the holidays. So in school, people usually take sweets in when it's the kid's birthday and give everyone. So Mrs. Hewitt decided to do it differently. We'll give everyone an egg because it's coming up for Easter. Little, cream egg. But of course, he was sent home before school finished because he dared to cough 3 times in one way. He's not fucking coughed once since.
I know.
Not once.
He's just there on the Xbox, clear as day, arguing with his mates over TeamSpeak. No, really loud.
We've been really gentle with the homeschooling, the homework stuff. Because, we had a chat and we thought, look, there's a massive upheaval for the boy. He's 7 coming up to 8. He knows everything's going on. It's very scary for him. We're going to ease up on the rules a bit. We're going to let him play games and just chill out. And I've had other parents going, are you doing all the work? I'm like, no, just let him chill out. Oh, how can you do that? You must work and do this. Like, what the fuck? But then I found out their kids are sat on fucking Fortnite for like 18 hours of bastarding day.
What's your fucking tone? Because I can see your son's username on my TV right now. Thank you very much.
Just holy as fuck off with you holier than thou shit. Family's like, well, what we're doing, we have a routine that he does work from this time till this time. Then it's home economics. Then it's this. What's your son doing? He's spawn killing on Fortnite. And then
dude, do you want to hear something dead sweet? So when this was kicking off February, and I went and got a few tins from Aldi and a few long life stuff, and they were selling a load of Easter eggs for £1. and I think I got like 6 or 7. I was like, fuck it, we'll just get him. And the point was then I give him to my daughter, and she could give him to whoever she wanted to. So she was knocking on the doors of the kids around here and going, there you go, and everything. And it was so sweet. It was such a lovely little thing. Like that, it only cost me around, it only cost me a beer and a bit, and my daughter got to like hand eggs out to the neighbours' kids, and it was lovely. I really enjoyed it.
Handed out, Graham.
Say again.
All these eggs didn't get handed out. Mrs.
I know, yeah. Well, that's what you reminded me then.
I've
yeah,
been teaching my diabetes a fucking lesson.
and now you've fucked your relationship. You can't even go back to the GP to get your medication.
I got under diabetes. Then I became pre-diabetic, and I thought, well, that's me winning. I've got a bit of fucking leeway now. I can eat like a pig. And then when it gets bad again, just get back on the meds and bring it down.
You've picked the perfect time to go to the Guardian, moaning about your GP, haven't you, Aidan? Oh yeah, I'll give you the name. Do you want the number? Yeah, I'll tell you exactly who they are.
I can afford to lose one of them. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm just phoning about my script. It's Hayden Hewitt. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Oh, where's he gone?
I think moving doctors is going to be coming up fairly soon.
Yeah, the blue tick, Hayden Hewitt.
I can't imagine my next appointment there is going to be magnificently successful, because I'm going to try and make an appointment with the head doctor there. That started the practice. Going to make it with him. I'll go in maybe about something unrelated, and then just casually bring it up, and then get barred from the surgery.
I am going to get fat. I can feel it. We've been joking about it.
You get fat, dude.
I'm not fucking fat. I've got a little bit of a dad belly. I like my salt. I like my pizzas. I've got a little bit. My ass is like fucking steel, mate. What are you on about? I'm not fat. I'm not fat.
Don't change your diet till you lose the toe.
But I've been craving burgers, mate, really badly. I think that comfort eating. I got a mixed kebab spread with chips on naan last night. It was £9. They delivered it in a pizza box. And it was the best fucking thing ever. And I was eating it just going, I'm getting so fat over the next couple of weeks, mate.
I love the way you think you're going to get fat.
I'm not fat.
The word is fatter.
I'm not fat. I've got a bit of a belly there. I've got the elephant. I've got the look at that. Look at the lines.
A bit of a belly. I look back at that footage we shot when we were testing the camera the first day. You're
I haven't
months gone.
I haven't updated my wardrobe for a few years. So yeah, certain t-shirts exaggerate my shape. But
does that mean they're a bit tighter?
They're too tight, yeah.
They say the camera puts £10 on you. They do say that, don't they? The camera puts £10 on you.
Put £15 on me earlier on for
how many cameras has Graham got on him right now? Fat as fuck.
I'm not fucking fat.
Motherfucker.
I'm not fucking fat. Do you know what? We had something on. I can't. It was some news report about whatever, and there was a lady that was American fat. When they've just got rolls and rolls and rolls, like pure American fat, worked at Walmart. That's how fat she was. She was actually at Walmart. And my daughter just went, Daddy, she's fat like you. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? This woman had 10 sets of tits, which I tried to explain to my daughter. I was like, she's got boobs on her arms, boobs on her thighs, and she's got several boobs. And then Zelda went in and repeated nearly everything I said to her mum, word for word. She had boobs on her arms, she had boobs on her boobs, and then added at the end, like, she's fat, like Daddy. I'm just, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
Graham's away from cankles. He's going to have to do fat feet.
I'm not fucking fat, and I'm not fucking American fat. Definitely not.
But you will be by the end of this fucking lockdown.
I got this belly in America, That's where I got it, and it never went away. Couldn't get rid of it.
Is American fat better or worse?
You do know that your belly's gotten bigger since I've known you, right?
No, it's not. No, it's not. I can document that. I can show you evidence. It's not. I am skinnier.
Skinnier?
I am. I was fatter when I did Game Face. I was fatter then. But
well, I'm
not American fat. Smoke Steve. American fat is fat, really fat, mind-blowingly fat. Two
Why
seats on an
why is
airplane
your
fat.
head the only one that doesn't fit in the box on the screen, Graham?
It's just where I'm sat. It's the length of the cable. Look, I'll just put the fucking camera over there then, shall I? There we go. Hi! With my skinny arm. Look at that. Fucking fat.
But look at your big round head.
Where's the fat? It's not fat. It's not there. What's all this? This isn't fat. It's solid, that.
Dude, speaking as a fat person, and I am fat, you're fat.
No.
I mean, look at Nick. He wasn't behind the door when they were handing fucking chins out either, but you in
not
the
a
middle.
word said about Nick, though. Not a fucking word about Nick, is there?
Well, you think I can reach the guy from here?
He's been through the honeymoon phase now. He's been on camera plenty of times. Not a fucking word.
Nick knows Nick's denial. Nick knows he's carrying a couple of pounds at the moment.
I'm built for comfort, not for speed. It's the way it works these days.
Well, yeah. Do you know what? I do actually like having a bit of a belly because my daughter loves it. She cuddles it and lies on it and stuff, and it's nice.
Calls you fat.
Calls me fat. Yeah, because why do you think that is? Because Soph watches the streams. She sees me get like this, and then the next morning she goes, "You all right, fatty?" And she triggers me, and then my daughter sees how much it pisses me off, and then, but now it's just become reality to her. It's not a joke anymore. She's just like, yeah, you should see the way she draws me. Those
I know it's got 3 circles, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, you can't see, the light's too dark right now, but the just every picture of me is just a ball with a bald head.
That's because you're fat.
I'm done anyway. I want to go. Please send us a PayPal and things. I'm going home. I'm going more home than I am right now.
It is probably time. We're over 2 hours in. Cherry didn't turn up, despite sending us an email and 2 messages.
What a fucking tease, Cherry, mate. What a tease.
Sorry for next time. I'm going to try and get Sean Watson on for tomorrow night if I can. New junkie, hopefully he'll join us along with C Lane.
I was thinking as well. Studio, the building's closed. Tomorrow might be a bit soon, but next week there'll be no more COVID in there. And we'll be well into our thing. We'll know if we've got it. We'll have had about 2 weeks.
The only reason I'm going to hang on is because Soph was sent home, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So I want to see if you start fucking coughing.
I'm here next Wednesday going, come on, Aiden, I need this.
I don't. I can still hear those people live a couple of doors down fucking hacking the lungs out every night. I don't want that. It sounds really shit. I was listening to the guy do it last night. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. He threw up. He coughed till he threw up. That sounded rubbish. Rubbish.
Yeah. That's what happened to me in January, man. I swear, I've had this shit already. China lied and people fucking died.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
We don't even know. Do you remember, though, before this, there was spikes in deaths? People are like, oh, there's more deaths. And they were blaming the Tories. Rightly so, in terms of the fucking mismanagement of the NHS. But how many of those deaths were fucking COVID and we didn't even know yet? Because we haven't gone back and tested. The countries that did go back, because we were doing it in Spain, they went back and tested people who had already died and altered the cause of death because they found it in the body. So we don't even know. People could have been dying in December and January from it, and we just don't know.
Very possibly. But we're at 2 hours and 8 minutes. That's enough. Nick, thank you so much. I've got to look that way, which is the wrong way to me. But Nick, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I've got an orientation issue. That way.
The other way. That's
Thank you very much.
It's okay. Hope you've had a good time.
Can you do the heart, Nick? Give me a heart.
I can do it. Graham, get off it. Get off.
Do it the other side, Graham. Do this side. I'm right there. There we go.
Ding.
That's nearly right there.
Ding.
Just walking backwards. Guys, thank you so much for spending your time with us. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow night. We might have a guest on tomorrow night. We'll have to wait and see. It could be Sean Watson. We'll probably throw it open at the end of that as well. Nick, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on.
We'll be back tomorrow, either 10:30 or 11. Check the socials. We'll let you know. But until then, have a safe evening. Keep well. Wash your ass. Do what you got to do. I think that's about it, really, isn't it? Yes. Good night, everybody.